Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I'm Monica, Marketing Manager at Aurora. Welcome to another episode of Behind the Stack. This is a new live stream series that we introduced last week, where we give the floor to each of our partners for the Aurora Marketplace. And before we dive in, and I'm super excited for this one, here's a quick overview of the Aurora Cloud Console Marketplace. For who doesn't know it yet, this is pretty much like a catalog of plug and play tools from oracles, data, identity, payments, security, pretty much all ready for you to use when you want to launch your chain, a virtual chain on Aurora. So think of it as an app store or like a chain launch toolkit. So everything you need to go from zero to mainnet. Each episode of this series is actually meant to highlight one of the partners. So we will be sharing what they offer and how they work and pretty much why you should consider integrating them. And the partner we want to spotlight today is Billions Network. And for this, I would like to invite Evan, CEO and co-founder. Hello and welcome.
GM, thank you so much for having me today. It's great to be here.
Thanks a lot for being here with us. To be honest, it's really an honor. I've heard a lot of great things about you. So yeah, super excited. Couldn't wait to talk to you. I'm sure everyone else, I see it also in the chat, everyone is also excited to hear about you. So maybe if you can say a few words about you and your background would be great.
Thank you so much, Monica. That sounds like a great way to get started. So my name is Evan McMullen, calling in from beautiful Los Angeles, California today. My adventure on chain starts a little over a decade ago when we just called it Bitcoin, not crypto. However, in my adventures building and exploring in decentralized technology, I started working full-time on chain in 2017 at a company called Consensus, focused on opening new markets, bringing decentralized technologies to enterprise and verifiable data and identity. And so that journey took me through founding a verifiable data platform in 2022, and then joining hands with then the Privado ID team, and today we are Billions Network. In the course of this work, I have focused on collaborating with governments, with enterprises, and also enabling proofs such as proof of uniqueness, proof of unique humanity, proof that you are a person, not a bot, over a certain age, in a certain country, in a manner that preserves your privacy, puts you in the driver's seat, and makes it easy for projects to deploy capital and to maintain compliance no matter what type of data they're handling. So today, with Billions Network, we are the first universal human and AI network built with mobile-first verification. So you can prove who you are from the comfort of your device, whether on-chain, online, or IRL.
Awesome. Thanks a lot. That was really great. And yeah, just to put you shortly on the spot, I'm wondering if Billions was like a tagline on a Times Square billboard. What would it say?
Oh, wow. If Billions were a tagline on a billboard in Times Square, it would say the Universal Human and AI Network.
Awesome. Thanks a lot. I think it was really a great and snappy overview of what you guys are doing. And I think, yeah, I was also wondering before our chat today, what do you think makes Billions different? So like, why do you think most Web3 identity solutions have failed to gain traction?
So what makes Billions unique is that we don't require any special hardware. So you can just use the devices you already have at home where you already spend time online and on chain. Additionally, we believe that no one party, no one company, no one country has a monopoly on the definition of what constitutes a person or an instance of an AI agent. So rather than having a single proprietary definition, instead, we combine data about human beings and the agents they deploy that come from many different sources. So as long as there is more than one company, more than one country in the world, our flexible framework that allows all of these different authorities of information to work together and to combine information allows us to create the most comprehensive view of on-chain verifiable data that the metaverse has ever seen.
Great, that's really amazing, and I think I would like to not keep the audience waiting too long, because you guys just announced that Billions private testnet is now live, which is amazing. It's huge. And then this will pretty much give the virtual chain founders access to around 1 million pre-verified users. So I'm wondering if you can just go over what or expand on what it means for the virtual chain founders and why would they care about that.
Certainly. Well, thank you so much for that shout out, Monica. Just moments ago, our team announced publicly that our private testnet is live. So we are really excited to be collaborating with some awesome teams to bring these capabilities to life. When it comes to virtual chain founders or chain founders in general, often one of the early questions that they ask themselves is, how can we make it easier for applications to build in our environment? We've got all this empty block space and we are bootstrapping a community of users, of developers, but when we push everything to the edges, when we leverage net new block space, it can be kind of challenging to discern one user from another, one address from another. And so Billions makes it easy, as you said, to bootstrap on an existing multi-chain ecosystem of nearly 1 million users at this point. And in addition, we also make it really straightforward to leverage the data about those users, enabling them to prove who they are, where they are, in a manner that leverages zero knowledge proofs to maintain privacy while also unlocking all of that access and personalization. We often find ourselves invited to the party when teams are starting to think about the distribution of tokens as well. So one of the capabilities that we'll talk about here in a minute with Billions Network is that we make it easy to discern whether a user or an individual is a unique human being or is a duplicate human being, perhaps a person with multiple accounts, or even a non-human actor like an agent. And so we often find that when capital or value is being distributed, whether through things like an airdrop or incentives, it's often really useful for these teams to be able to determine who's behind those keys so that that value can be distributed appropriately based on their strategy. This is also super important when it comes to instances like compliance, things like KYC, when you're interacting with more sensitive or regulated information. And so what we make really easy for our founder partners is that we take the guesswork out of telling the difference between these different types of users and offering them different types of experiences. So if your team is thinking about building a chain, about launching a virtual chain, definitely call us first. Because we can help you get up and running and bootstrap that ecosystem of valuable data, making discoverability of new users easy for application builders, and also making it straightforward for those builders to leverage pre-existing information so that we can shortcut the journey that it takes them to go from 0 to 1.
Awesome, amazing. I think everyone can just go and check marketplace.auroracloud.dev and just request integration and then get in touch with the team. Maybe let's show everyone how it looks and maybe go over some of the features.
Certainly. So one thing I also wanted to note that's pretty special about our collaboration, our teamwork with the Aurora ecosystem is that we will also help to subsidize some of the cost of these verifications. So I'll leave that alpha leak there. Definitely go check out the marketplace, but we want to make sure that there are as few barriers to entry for this new type of interaction and new type of building as possible, especially for folks who are launching virtual chains. So
that's great.
Perhaps,
thank you so much, Evan, for that. And I'm pretty sure people will really appreciate. And the founders, it's the level of the ease of entry is the most important to us, and this is what we try to do also with our console and in general with all the product. So thanks a lot for that.
Definitely. We completely agree that getting a chain up and running can be a really complicated task with a lot of different aspects of building and development that are required. And we want to make sure that founders can focus on what they do best. And so we can take the guesswork out of things like Sybil resistance and capital distribution compliance so that they can continue focusing on serving their users and not get caught up in cryptography. So perhaps to start, we can talk about the Billions pre-registration experience. So before we announced our testnet just a few minutes ago, we've actually been building a global community of folks who are getting up and running, ready to interact both with Billions to prove parts of their identity, but also to engage with other partners and qualify for things like airdrops or quests. So that pre-registration page, you can see at billions.network. I'll pull up here in just a second. Sharing my screen here. All right, are we able to see it?
Yes.
Excellent. So pretty simple and straightforward to sign up and get started. So we'll hop on over to this tab. You can see here the Billions Network Identity Portal is where you can get started. Now, of course, we realize that serving billions requires us to meet folks where they are, meet users where they are, which means that some may have pre-existing crypto wallets, but some may not yet. And so that's why we've created a really simple and straightforward way for you to start with just an email address. So if I proceed in here to this particular account, you can see that there are some tasks and activities that I can participate in. There are some exciting upcoming rewards that I can unlock and qualify to participate in based on the different actions that I take. So from inviting others to join, from being a participant in our Discord channel, which recently just topped 400,000 members. And we are now also one of the most active Discord channels in all of Discord. So great shout out to our awesome community there. And then we have different kinds of verifications that you can achieve. So daily rewards, referrals, social interaction, the connection of your address. If you have a crypto wallet, engaging on Twitter or on X, and we'll also be continuing to add more tasks and capabilities there. So this is sort of a friendly and easy way to get started, just like we want to support those who are launching chains and take the guesswork out of what it means to get going. A little alpha leak here is that we are currently waiting for the App Store to approve our updated native mobile application. So if you know our team, you might know that we are the stewards of the most broadly used zero-knowledge libraries on Earth, supporting more than 9,000 projects around the world. And we realize that we have an opportunity to make that technology friendly and available to everyone at their fingertips. So in just hopefully a few short days, crossing our fingers, you will be able to download this native application and do things like take your passport, tap it to your phone, pull all of that verifiable data signed by the government out of an NFC chip that's inside your passport, have it on your phone, and then be able to generate privacy-preserving proof that you live in a certain place, that you are a certain age, that you are who you are. And so not only making our capabilities available embedded inside of other apps, so you may have visited websites before or used other applications that leverage our technology under the hood, but this will bring it to the forefront so that everyone can enjoy.
Cool. Super, super cool. I'm super excited to try it out. And yeah, congrats also on the community. I think it's really an achievement. And I've been there. I know what it takes. And so congrats on that. I think for the virtual chain founders, this is really good. They would tap into that community. And that's an engaged community. And this is gold. So really congrats on that. Is there something else that you even want to show people? Anything that you would like to show from what you've guys?
Oh, Oh, Monica, I think I may have lost you there for a quick second, but I can chat a little bit more about what the experience looks like inside of another application. So for another little alpha leak today, as I mentioned, we are working closely with a number of teams that are embarking on the process of launching their own tokens. And so what this means is that the simple interfaces that we just looked at, simple interfaces that you'll see in our native application, are now also embeddable inside of pre-TGE Quest and Claim sites. We actually just had the privilege of working with our colleagues over at Lagrange, who, congratulations to them, launched their token. I think it was around 1.4 bill FDV. And so they're doing a really amazing job in their leadership in the ZK space with the first infinite prover network. But within that application experience, it was pretty seamless and embedded fairly under the hood. But for those users who had the privilege of going through that and engaging with the Lagrange team, definitely want to give a big congratulations to them and really excited to see where they're heading next. So some of those redacted names that we saw on the screen are going to be some of our forthcoming partners. And if you're interested in what that looks like or how it can be implemented in your own ecosystem, we'll be releasing a case study in the coming days as well.
Awesome, great. Thank you so much for that. And yeah, just to end this live stream in a very nice way, do you have any final message for the founders that
Or actually, Monica, if you don't mind, actually, I've got a little video I would love to share that might give us a
was
little
waiting
bit.
for that. Was actually waiting for that.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking through all these different pieces that we have. So we're just going to go ahead and hit play here to show you a little bit more about what that application experience looks like. So you can see here, pretty friendly native application, very similar to the types of setup or onboarding that we're often used to, but bringing it to a little bit more of an accessible Web3 front end. So here you can see that you can both connect an email address as well as well as see the pre-registration site that we looked at before. And you'll note here we've got our humanity check, so proving that you are indeed a live human being. So this verification will utilize your camera for just a quick smile. However, none of that data is actually accessible by our team because we are using zero knowledge proofs. So here we can see the flow where you can select the country that you're from and tap your passport. So take a quick picture of the inside and then tap that NFC chip to be able to retrieve the data signed by the government that we can verify in a manner that you can then take and prove in digital environments, whether online or on-chain. So this is just a quick preview of what's to come next from the App Store. You can see here now that this user has obtained two different credentials, one that they are a human being and the other that they are unique based on their government ID. And so this will be sort of the basis of the proofs that they're able to create and share with applications and then be able to prove on chain. So whether your smart contracts require geolocation, whether your content is appropriate for folks of only a certain age, or whether your compliance requires that you serve specific communities, or you're just interested in scaling up your community, as you were noting earlier, and helping our nearly 1 million users discover new applications and new chain environments, this native application that we just reviewed is going to be a great starting point.
Cool. Thanks for sharing that. I mean, it was really great to see that alpha, and really honored to be the first ones seeing it. So I'm pretty sure the builders would really appreciate your offerings, and super excited to have you part of our marketplace and our community, and doing all the great stuff together. And yeah, thanks a lot for joining us in this series and being part of the movement.
Well, the honor is all mine. We are huge fans of, for many years, the Near ecosystem, and now more recently, the Aurora ecosystem, and really look forward to supporting all these awesome builders and taking the guesswork out of identity and verifiable data for the humans and agents that they serve.
Cool. So let's launch the next 1000 virtual chains together then.
That sounds like a plan, Monica. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Thank you so much again. And yeah, thank you everyone for joining.
Thanks, everyone. My name's Evan McMullen. You can find me on X at Proven Authority, and I will see you all on chain.
See you on chain. Bye-bye.